2023 election, the presidential election, well, it's food for thought in the sense that the excitement that greeted the introduction of the technologies, especially the aspect of immediate transmission of the results from the polling unit to the server, the INEC server, was became like an anticlimax on the day of the election itself. INEC needs to do a lot more to rekindle the confidence of the voters in the system. People came to this election with a lot of expectations, and the trust was based on that just one single aspect of it: transmission of results from the polling units and the beavers, as the case may be. I think in totality, if that system had worked, it would have met the requirements of international standard of elections. For the interest of this country, regardless of what must have happened, we must go on and ensure that we conclude the process. Why? Because the process provides for redress. Section 65 of the Electoral Act allows INEC for the first time to review the elections within 7 days. Our nose, you have tribunals, you have the courts, isn't it? Supreme Court is there, even if you have to go that far. To now take a second look at what happened, and if they discover that something fundamental happened, if they see that there's no substantial compliance with the laws, guidelines of INEC, then they can ask for that election to be cancelled and another one conducted. But that now belongs to the courts. In my position as the Ipac National Chairman, I call on my colleagues, politicians, candidates, because I was also a candidate in this, to eschew bitterness, to take the interests of this country as first, and allow the process to take its full course, run its full course, and where necessary, we seek redress. We shouldn't allow the breakdown of law and order, because the consequences are not worth it. It's not worth that we lose even one life or destroy properties, because that has never served as the remedy. It will never serve as a remedy. The remedy is that you come back to round table, follow the due process, and get justice. Elections, not only in Nigeria, even in the so-called developed democracies like United States of America, they always have these issues of hacking, tampering, interfering by people that, out of mischief, some for some other reasons, will want to disrupt that arrangement. So some of us believe that INEC may in fact not be aware of what actually happened, meaning that it could be an attack by hackers, because the timing of it, when it failed to work, was very, very strategic. So if you ask me for my take is that we've moved on. Like the saying goes, it's a milestone, uh, in any contest at all, there has to be winners and losers. And when it comes to the issue of democracy, you always have to look at the interests of the people, because it's about the government of the people, by the people, for the people. So you will expect that people are factored in every step of the way. What role did the people play? But we all know that either we were too ambitious to have believed so much in the technology itself, or it's just that some kind of mischief that was hacked encouraged them going to court, because that will afford us opportunity of correcting the ills, what has happened, because it will be documented, isn't it? And wherever remedies are required, the remedies will be applied. So going to court is good, but I want them to, at the same time, as leaders, to advise their members not to take laws into their hands, not to destroy our own properties, not to kill anybody, not to do anything that will bring about, crisis on the land. Because once life is lost, you can't bring it back again. If you destroy properties, it's again our own commonwealth that you are destroying. So why do that? Since we know that there is a course that we can take, which will, bring about the redress, where wrongs are it can be righted. I'm sure about that. So that's my advice to both PDP and the Labour Party. In Ipac, we set up a committee to do just this, even before this time. That is to talk with ourselves as parties to ensure that whoever wins, this winner takes all syndrome does not work well for Nigeria. What we're advising Mr. President-elect to do is to do inclusivity, regardless of the party. He should carry IPAC along, because we believe that whatever is going to be done, if other parties sees that they have a role to play and they have a stake, the tension will be doused, considerably, because it's about governance, isn't it? It's about role that one is assigned to play. So if the president-elect, like he has said, and he has no choice really, because winner takes all syndrome will only further compound the problems for them, and they cannot govern. But for this government to take off and take off effectively and peacefully, they need to now, form a cabinet of all the parties to a very large extent. Let's have reflection of realization of the fact that this country belongs to all of us, regardless of who wins the election.